The Life of Rosa Parks. This apparently is too woke by the Republican Party. Song of Solomon is unacceptable to Republican politics. 40% of banned books have reported are significantly addressing and specifically addressing LGBT issues.
It is good to see on the national stage some pushback against the insane censorship, and not just censorship, it's bad ban, author ban, entire subjects, entire courses of study being banned in places like Florida and in others. And now we have the Republicans trying to push forward this bill, the Parents' Bill of Rights Act, which we're gonna give you more details on, to begin this process at the national level. AOC has more to say about this. Take a look.
Quote unquote parental rights and freedom hides the sinister fact of this legislative text. If you notice in these arguments, they are not really discussing what is actually in this legislation. It includes 2 provisions that require schools to out trans, non-binary, and LGBT youth, even if it would put said youth in harm's way. One of the highest rates of youth homelessness is in the LGBT community, from parents who want to kick their children out in households that may be unstable or abusive. For so many children of abuse, school is their only safe place to be. When we talk about progressive values, I can say what my progressive value is, and that is freedom over fascism.
So look, we need that. We need what AOC had to say. We need that every day. We need that at the state level. We need that all over. People making clear what's actually happening now. And this intersects, I think, really well with the dissection of the modern use of this word woke. Can you imagine if the Republicans' plan was, we're just gonna put forward, we're gonna start banning books that were written by Black authors, by gay authors, by trans authors. We're just gonna do that because we don't like those. I hope that would be unacceptable. And so they found a way to cloak it to accomplish the same goal. They want to take entire massive swaths of humanity and make them basically legally not able to exist in the public sphere, for their work to not exist, for it not to be taught. It would not be acceptable if they were even slightly more explicit about their goal, but they've cloaked it in this vague language. And now you have this Parent Bill of Rights Act. Require schools to provide parents with a list of books and reading materials available in the school library, which, based on my experience going to libraries throughout my life, is available. It's the Dewey Decimal System. They have an entire log of all of the books. Most of these are now computerized. As well as posting curriculum publicly. It would require elementary and middle schools that receive federal funding to obtain parental consent before, quote, changing a minor child's gender markers, pronouns, or preferred name on any school form, or allowing a child to change the child's sex-based accommodations, including locker rooms or bathrooms. It would also affirm parents' rights to, they say, address, I'll say berate school boards and receive information about violent activity in their child's school, which is important. You need that information before you as and stop anything from being done to stop the violence. And so AOC also points out the human cost of this. And from the very beginning, Republicans haven't given a damn about the kids who are going to be perhaps abused, maybe kicked out, disowned by their parents as a result of them wanting to identify with the way that they do. Brett, what do you think?
I think that this was the plan. The plan the whole time was for them to 100% make it so that they could ban these books that give people of any civil rights, that advocate for understanding and compassion for anyone's experience, to see the world through anyone else's eyes. That is what literature is about. And the reason for that is because fundamentally, as I understand it, in its current is the opposite of the good guy wins. In conservative art, it's all a media play, so people like Ben Shapiro can start their own media houses. It's a play for folks that don't want justice to happen. In a conservative version of Superman, Lex Luthor kills the alien who's trying to stop him from realizing his own Ayn Randian business goals. And then that makes them so angry that kids who just see things and understand them totally understand it. They get it. And they would reject a story where the bad guy wins. And so rather than better and understand the value of empathy and all the themes in these books, the right wing just wants to silence them, which is hilariously ironic because they champion themselves as the proponents of free speech when all they want to do is censor everything that challenges their ideas.
Exactly. Yeah, and it leaves you with a whole cadre of people who put out specials, books, and podcasts called Triggered, talking about all the things nobody's allowed to learn about anymore.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.